In the headlines, the headliners for the 2016 World Creole Music Festival to be announced on Wednesday. Bay oil producers expect a production boost at the peak of the season. And a man from Vieques pursues his childhood dream of a ferry and helicopter service for Dominica. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Details after this.
About in the union debate has will only increase quote NCCU. But when I investigated, more so rebate, not debate. NCCU will be paying a rebate of $1 million to members who paid their loans well in 2015. So support your party pay and don't expect anything. Mesude pay loan will be NCCU will be giving you money back into your hands, $1 million to its members. You see, it pays to be a member of the NCCU. NCCU pays you back. Hey, about in a civil to boot and all debate all about NCCU. Civil Haley, that is an automatic message for Monkey Paka pay loan you pay. About in Dimo Pagada go that is just good news. Mumun, he got paid on you being.
To see it on your smartphone or to see it on your tablet.
I think that would be ideal, simply because my lifestyle is very on the go.
I'm on the move. I might be at work. I may have some time that I can actually view it, but I'm not close to a television.
You just can't be everywhere you need to be all the time, especially if you work.
So when we're out sailing on the water, something that we'll be connected and watching the event live. So it'll be great.
Homework, research, school-based assessments. Visit the Muslim store today and give your child the tools that they need to succeed. Tablets as low as $399.99. Laptops starting at $16.95. Or get a complete package including a desktop computer with camera, speakers, table and chair. So don't let your child's education suffer. Come down to the Bayfront Roseau and check out these incredible prices. Only at the Muslim store. Locally born, locally grown.
How fast can you shop? Purchase any Frigidaire appliance and cords and get a chance to win a supermarket sweep for groceries. Shop now on cash or credit and pay absolutely nothing down for 30 days. Don't be left out. Be one of the winners of the Frigidaire supermarket sweep and win up to $2,700 in groceries. Offer valid till June 30th. Terms and conditions apply. See press and in-store for details. Cords, bringing value home.
Thank you for staying with us. Topping the news, the lineup of the 2016 World Creole Music Festival to be released on Wednesday evening at a press launching at the Anchorage Hotel.
This year's World Creole Music Festival takes place from October 28 to 30. There is an artist selection committee involved in arranging the lineup. Events Director of the Dominica Festivals Committee, Claudine Springer, told DBS Radio's Talking Point on Tuesday that 18 acts will be announced at the event's launch on Wednesday night.
I do not sit on the artist selection committee.
Okay.
But the artist selection committee has a criteria that is in part determined by how many albums an artist has, their popularity that year, their lifetime popularity, the legacy of the artist. So it's more of a complicated process than we tend to think, because I asked, because it's such a good lineup. I wanted to know how they came up with it for myself. It's really strong.
Springer, who took up the post in May, says the festival is operating under new team dynamics and the team is refocused.
I have an open door policy. I've said so before. I talk to everyone who comes in. The primary reason is, I want to know what people think is wrong with the festival, because we want to fix the problems and we want to catch the things that may be beyond our purview.
The festival's marketing plan has also been reviewed with a focus on reaching the wider Caribbean.
The pervasive belief out there is that, we're not doing enough to push it. And we're working on it. I want everyone to know that. We have gone back to the drawing board. We are changing the way we're going to market the festival. And that's just because as times change, you have to evolve to meet your consumer. I think a June launch gives us a great time to go out there and promote, to let everyone know what's coming.
The event was cancelled last October due to the impact of Tropical Storm Erika on the country's economic situation. Last year, Haitian compa performer T. Mickey Jamaican reggae artist Popcan, Trinidad soca monarch Olatunji, Nigerian Afrobeat artist Timaya, and Zouk star Jean-Philippe Martelly were among the top acts on the announced 2015 lineup. Tourism Minister Robert Tong told us last month that government would have increased funding of the WCMF this year, resulting in bigger contracted artists. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In other top stories, an environmentalist originally from Vieques is pursuing a childhood dream of introducing a ferry and helicopter service on island.
Joseph Libler is seeking a private-public sector partnership to implement the project over a 20-year period. Libler is founder and managing director of Leo Imelda Agency Corporation and Leo Imelda Foundation Entity Incorporated, the companies spearheading the initiative aimed at developing marine security, emergency response, and the shipping and transportation sectors within the Caribbean. Land at Point Ronde and Picard River Delta has been identified to develop the multi-billion-dollar project. Libler told Channel 5 News on Monday the idea is to make Dominica the marine and air transportation hub of the Caribbean.
So far, the project basically consists of 5 prongs: a fast ferry and helicopter fleet, which will basically be responsible for the transportation of cargo and passengers and for response to events like what we saw during Erika. We had to look at the possibility of having portable jetties, which will be able to be attached to a fast crew ferry and then attached to the land so you could have evacuations. The position that Dominica is in the central part of the Caribbean basin, makes it the most accessible.
A memorandum of investment for the project was presented to government in January 2015.
The government is in very much support of the project thus far. After we gave them the first major document on the project, they did come forward and sign a small contract and they are given a small significant administrative grant to the companies for the project in order that we could go seek the funding.
He recently met with OECS Director Dr. Didacus Jules on island and has introduced the project to Caribbean Development Bank for possible support. This has been Libler's long-standing vision.
When I started dreaming of this project, and I was still a child at the time, in the 70s, I was not yet going to secondary school. The dreams really came out of the efforts under the Labour Party government then to create a port at the O2 Bay to export bananas. And it was really it was the first time I had seen such a huge boat come so close to the shores of the O2 Bay in Vegas. And that was the Geese boat. And then they had the blasting of all the rocks and so on that started the major works. But unfortunately, in '74, the then Premier Edward Libler left power, and then that whole project went out.
On to agriculture now, where bay oil producers are looking forward to increased production in time for the peak of the bay oil season. Expectations have been raised since the Essential Oils and Spices Cooperative received a substantial financial donation from the Ministry of Small Business and Commerce to go towards reconstruction of 4 artisan distilleries. The $100,000 contribution will be invested in restoring distilleries in Petite-Soufrière, Grand Bay, Fosséja, and Bagatelle. President of the Essential Oils and Spices Cooperative says the plan is to build a smarter post-tropical storm Erika.
The distilleries we intend to build, we intend to repair. Most of the houses will be reconstructed, broken down and reconstructed. The still itself, what we call the vat, where the leaves go in for distillation, we expect to do an upgrade on that. We expect to have it less labor intensive going forward. But we intend to build smarter. We hope that process will take about 1 month. And normally it's peak time for us, August. We hope that by August we'll have at least those distilleries ready to accept bay, so farmers can start distilling bay in August.
There are approximately 25 artisan distilleries on island. Geist says that initially the cooperative will be targeting nearly half of these in their reconstruction efforts.
We approached government to do 4. We as Essential Oils will do 3, and the European Union have agreed to do 3. That will give us 10. Together we expect to do our 3 together while we do the 4 for government. Hopefully we can have the first still starting to repair next week. So we will do a couple of them in Delis, 1 in Petit Savan, and in Lapland.
When Tropical Storm Erica hit last year, the island's largest distillery in Petit Savan was completely wiped out, along with other equipment. Geist says the production of bay rum has ceased since the passage of the tropical storm. As a result, the focus has been on bay oil manufacturing.
But at the moment, we can't do bay rum. We cannot because the equipment is lost. The European Union has promised to give us that equipment. As I speak, the gentleman who was supposed to be ordering the equipment has submitted his bid to the EU office in Dominica. So we hope very soon from now that equipment will be purchased.
It has been estimated that over $2 million will be required for the Dominica Essential Oils and Spices Cooperative to rebuild the bay oil industry following the destruction caused by Tropical Storm Erica. In tourism, authorities are satisfied that LIAT is now running a normal schedule to Dominica since last month's meeting between government officials and LIAT executives.
The regional airline's inefficient service to the island was in the spotlight when Prime Minister Skerrit complained to the then CEO about 2 incidents in April. Tourism Director Colin Piper says as of the 1st of June, LIAT has reviewed its schedule for Dominica and implemented most of what was discussed at the meeting with tourism and port authorities. Night flights to Antigua and Barbados have also been fully restored, with the latest flights leaving Dominica at 8:15 p.m.
No, LIAT service to Dominica has normalized now, most notably that we now have service going south, bound to Antigua. Whereas since Tropical Storm Erica we did not have that. We now have evening flights coming in from Antigua on 523, and we have evening flights coming in from Barbados 524. So in both directions you have flights early in the morning coming into Dominica and going back out, and in the evening you have flights coming into Dominica and going back out, which allows us to have same-day access from parts of the US, from the UK, and from Europe.
60 to 70% of the passengers who traveled to the island do so on LIAT. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
Coming up, the issue of pig farms and their impact on environmental health.
For small countries to do well in the Olympics makes us all proud.
I may probably throw that individual a party.
Get my pot covers.
I would do my own motorcade.
We would have to close for the month. Nobody would wear.
I would probably do like the running dance.
I would drive from Arima to Pinal to Moruga to Toko.
Some kind of thing that would mark that event, I will never forget.
242 all day.
In the event of a storm, subscribers must disconnect the mapping cable at the back of all television sets, modems, and routers. It is also wise to unplug all devices from the electrical outlets. This has been another mapping hurricane tip. Remember, be safe, be smart this hurricane season.
Somewhere between adventure and magic lies simply beautiful St. Lucia, a place where you can free up your mind, body, and soul. From rejuvenating waterfalls and mud baths to action-adventure parks and island tours, the fun never stops on this island. You can explore natural wonders all day, party with friends all night, and enjoy up to 50% on your accommodation. It's more than a destination. St. Lucia rocks. You gotta check it for yourself. For more info, contact your travel.
How fast can you shop? Purchase any free Frigidaire appliance and cords and get a chance to win a supermarket sweep for groceries. Shop now on cash or credit and pay absolutely nothing down for 30 days. Don't be left out. Be one of the winners of the Frigidaire supermarket sweep and win up to $2,700 in groceries.
Offer valid till June 30th. Terms and conditions apply. See press and in-store for details. Cords, bringing value home.
I like to view it at my private spot, home.
Halfway through the square, block off.
That's where people kind of gather to watch the race, and it's just a different vibe.
Maracas Bay with a big screen TV, some drinks in a cooler.
Watching it with persons who share the same passion.
For the major events, you probably go to a sports bar and enjoy the camaraderie.
Friends and family, doesn't have to be hundreds of people, but that's how I'd like to see it.
Welcome back. The issue of proper waste disposal at piggeries is one which is at times beyond the influence of the Environmental Health Department.
This is coming to light as the state prison's piggery has become an environmental nuisance for its neighbors in the Forkole community. It is also troubling to management of Tires Unlimited at Forkole, which has to tolerate the stench of the piggery's waste when it gets clogged up in a nearby drain, according to the manager. You can notice the prison's wall above the houses in that part of the neighborhood. It's especially awful during the warmer weather since the stench gets worse. And while complaints have been made to the Environmental Health Department, a resolution is not yet in sight. We asked the acting chief environmental health officer about that situation, and she says that they receive many complaints about piggeries.
I know that we visit the prison and we have been working with them. We have done quite a bit of work in a number of areas, but I'm not sure about the status of this waste disposal for the piggery. But that is something that we can definitely look into and see what is there, because we do get a lot of complaints about those animal farms. Waste disposal for piggeries is something that's very difficult to deal with. We sometimes ask persons to do things like the septic tank and the soak away, but because of the fine particles of the waste, those things get clogged very quickly. So sometimes they might have a disposal unit that is not working properly, and the thing is, the waste is let off in a drain.
Speaking of the environment, Dominicans are being urged to adopt innovative ways to properly dispose of their waste during the hurricane season, should the need arise. This as the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation recounts the effect that Tropical Storm Erica had on the country's garbage collection system last year. Following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica, the garbage collection in the north was at a temporary standstill due to the damaged road network.
So one of the things that we did last year was try to get people to separate their dry waste like plastics, tins, cans, and store them indoors. And also your wet waste, which is kitchen waste, compostable waste, to bury it to prevent vectors, mosquitoes, rats, those things. Also the smell. Now, if there is a hurricane and the road is cut off for a whole week, what do? So you have to start to take responsibility for your own waste, separate your waste, your dry and your wet waste, until we can find mechanisms that would assist us in disposing of all those waste, collecting all those waste.
McLawrence says the company is adjusting itself to deal with similar situations which may occur following a weather event.
Because last year we had to find something to do with the waste. All the trucks collected the waste from the north, and we had to have a temporary storage area for that waste. And we want to prevent that from happening. So the best case is that people take responsibility of their waste and store their dry waste during a storm or hurricane.
The company is also reviewing its internal hurricane plan to ensure the safety of its staff during these types of natural disasters. And the media has been commended for the role it has played in placing the Caribbean on a path towards becoming one of the first regions earmarked to eliminate the transmission of HIV from a mother to her unborn child.
Executive Director of the Caribbean Broadcast Media Partnership on HIV and AIDS, Dr. Alison Leacock, says when people get tested for HIV, they are making it possible to reach these milestones. Dr. Leacock spoke to Channel 5 News on the issue during a visit to Dominica in April. Friday is Regional Testing Day. The media helps promote where people can get tested for HIV during the period leading up to Regional Testing Day.
We create public service announcements that are customized for each country. So Marpin now has the information about where people can get tested, and Alison Samuel and the national program have done a great job in working out an outreach to many communities. So they're going to be starting an outreach in May, so that by the time we get to the Regional Testing Day itself, which is June 24th, there is an ongoing process for people to be tested in locations that are suitable for them, and that basically say, look, we're going to meet you where you are. It's decentralized to a large extent.
Dr. Leacock encourages those who have not yet been tested for HIV to get tested and help build a generation that's free from HIV.
That's news. Coming up, 2 local athletes get their chance to join the Dominican squad heading for the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio. That and more in your sports highlights with Kenny Williams next.
First up in sports, Brendan Williams and Shanae Angle are among athletes who will get a chance to join the Dominican squad headed to the 2016 Rio Olympic Games in August. 9 athletes will be representing Dominica in the Trinidad Nationals, where they will compete against their regional counterparts. Channel 5 Sports spoke with national high jumper Brendan Williams, who says he is close to the qualifying standard for the Olympics.
Well, the standard for the high jump is 2.29 meters and my personal best is 2.25. So basically I'm 4 centimeters off the standard. Going to Trinidad, I'm relatively confident and that I will secure the standard there, if not in total. But I want to do it in the first meet, which is in Trinidad. Right now it's just a mental game, just to try to remain calm and confident, because we as the athletes, we put a lot of stress or pressure on ourselves the evening before, even the week before the competition. And it basically just deters us from setting our goals. So my main aim for this week is just to remain calm and just go into the competition. No anxiety, no stress, no pressure.
Williams says qualifying for Rio would be a great achievement for him.
That's the aim from the onset, is to qualify for the Olympics, and whatever position I get there, it doesn't matter to me. That means I just excelled and be up the creme de la creme of the sporting fraternity.
Meantime, President of the Dominica Amateur Athletics Association, Godwin Dorset, says while it might be late for Shanae Angle to qualify for Rio based on the distance she's thrown so far, he is not counting her out just yet.
Shanae is one of the greater talents in Dominica, and I do believe that in her there is the potential to qualify for the character. Though I might say it's a bit late for the character games, but the Olympic Games, but at the World Juniors, she can come off with something good. In Trinidad, being in Trinidad this weekend will help her boost her confidence and will help her understand where she is. In the following weekend at the British, at the BVI, where we have in the OECS Championship, there is an opportunity for her to improve on her technique and a better chance of pulling off a big throw, getting her past the 50 meters in the javelin.
The team will be accompanied by Godwin Dorset as head coach and include Yordandis Garcia, Dylan Simon, Mariah Toussaint, Davis Regis, Bevon Sylvain, Michael Davis, and Tia Lafont. The Dominican-based athletes will leave the island on Thursday for Trinidad and compete on the weekend. Football action continues this week as the Domlec Women's League has 5 scheduled matches on the cards. On Wednesday, Dive Dominica Harlem United will take on Maho Soka Strikers at Maho at 5. Meantime, in a doubleheader at Newtown Playing Field, New Generation Sports Club will come up against Bomber Starlights at 5, to be followed by defending champions New India Goodwill Runners versus Wood City Strikers at 7. Then on Sunday, the reigning champs New India Goodwill Runners will take on New Generation Sports Club at Newtown. At Benjamin's Park, it will be Maho Soka Strikers versus Wood City Strikers. Both matches begin at 3 p.m. On the cricket scene, Sri Lanka and England played to a draw in the team's first one-day international on Tuesday. Sri Lanka batted first and ended on 286 for 9. Angelo Matthews top-scored for Sri Lanka with 73, while S. Parasan added 59. England replied with 286 for 8, with Leon Plunkett tying the match on the last ball with a 6. Chris Wokes had a game-high of 95, while Joss Butler scored 93. In basketball, the 2016 DABA League continues on Wednesday between Police Sports Club and the Kelvedaro Hurricanes at 7, to be followed by a face-off between Elijah Law Chambers Thunderers and the Jays Limited Sonics at 9. Both games are scheduled for Massac. Finally, in sports, there were wins for MCCU Sunrise men and Signman Celtics women, as both teams recorded straight-set wins in the 2016 Flow National Volleyball League recently. MCCU Sunrise men defeated Signman Celtics 3-0, scores 25-12, 25-18, and 25-17. In the women's game, Signman Celtics beat MCCU Sunrise 3-0, scores 25-23, 25-5, and 25-19. That's all the sports for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next time.
You can expect more rain on Wednesday morning, so remember to grab that coat and umbrella. Your weather report is next.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janelle Macpherson. Infrared satellite imagery today showed some multi-layered clouds across the island chain associated with a low-level trough. Visible satellite imagery today showed some low-level clouds near Dominica, resulting in mostly cloudy skies today. Radar imagery indicated some showers across Dominica and Guadeloupe. The weather for tonight, mostly cloudy and breezy with scattered showers. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, too cloudy and breezy with scattered showers, mainly during the morning period. Temperatures are expected to peak near 32 degrees Celsius. Seas tomorrow are expected to be moderate with waves peaking up to 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to exercise caution. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with scattered showers mainly during the morning. An increase in cloudiness and shower activity is expected by Thursday and Friday due to the passage of a tropical wave. Breezy conditions will be maintained. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies and scattered showers mainly across the southern portion of the region. On the international cities forecast, partly cloudy skies in New York, Miami and Beijing, thunderstorm activity in Caracas, and rain expected in London. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:36 a.m. and sunset at 6:39 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call our weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. The headliners for the 2016 World Creole Music Festival to be announced on Wednesday. Bear Oil producers expect a production boost at the peak of the season. And a man from Vieques pursues his childhood dream of a ferry and helicopter service for Dominica. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Lee, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.